Today we will talk about a vegetable that has been known for centuries as a nutritious food full of properties that benefit the body in various ways. In fact, it even contains compounds like antioxidants, chlorogenic acid, and quercetin, which have potential anti-cancer properties by reducing oxidative stress and inhibiting cancer cell growth. I'm talking about the potato. The potato, a vegetable present in our daily diet, holds surprising properties that go beyond its creamy, delicious taste. But did you know that eating it the wrong way can actually be harmful to your health? In today's video, we will reveal 9 mistakes people make when eating potatoes that you need to avoid. Mistake number 5 is so common that 90% of people make it without even realizing it. Additionally, we will share some tips on how to choose, store, and consume potatoes correctly. So if you want to find out what these mistakes are and whether you're making any of them, stay with me until the end to discover everything. Before we dive into the common mistakes people make when consuming potatoes, let's talk about the benefits of this beloved vegetable that is enjoyed all over the world. Potatoes are a good source of vitamins C and B6, potassium, and fiber, which can support heart health, boost immunity, and aid in digestion. They are also versatile in cooking, offering a range of nutrients that can help with satiety and provide energy through their complex carbohydrates. Here are 9 mistakes people make when eating potatoes. Mistake number 1 is being unaware that green skin can be dangerous. The green skin contains solanine, which is a glycoalkaloid poison found in species of the nightshade family, including potatoes. It serves as a natural defense mechanism against insects, fungi, and herbivores, but it's toxic to humans in large amounts. Solanine production in potatoes increases when they are exposed to light, leading to the development of chlorophyll, which gives potatoes a green color. This green color is a warning sign of increased solanine levels. Besides light exposure, physical damage, sprouting, and improper storage conditions can also elevate solanine content. Potatoes that have begun to sprout or have visible damage might have higher levels of this toxin. Consuming small amounts of solanine can lead to mild symptoms such as gastrointestinal issues like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain, as well as headaches. In cases where exposure is higher, more severe symptoms can occur, including neurological effects like confusion, hallucinations, and loss of sensation. In extreme situations, although very rare with potatoes, solanine poisoning could lead to paralysis, coma, or even death due to the large quantities needed to cause such severe effects. To avoid the risks associated with solanine, it's advised to cut away any green parts of a potato deeply, since solanine can permeate beyond the visible green area. If a potato is extensively green, or if a significant portion is affected, it's best to discard it. Proper storage practices include keeping potatoes in a dark, cool place to minimize solanine production, avoiding direct sunlight or heat. Potatoes should not be stored in plastic bags or airtight containers. Instead, use paper bags or baskets for better air circulation to prevent moisture buildup and sprouting. When potatoes begin to sprout, cut the sprouts off along with a good margin around them because solanine can be concentrated in these areas. However, if the potato has been sprouting for a long time or shows other signs of spoilage, it's safer to discard it. Cooking does not destroy solanine since it's heat stable, but peeling the skin where solanine concentration is highest can reduce exposure. Regulatory bodies like the FDA in the US have guidelines on the maximum acceptable levels of solanine in potatoes for human consumption, suggesting levels should not exceed 20-25 milligrams per 100 grams. Commercial potato processing often includes steps to check for solanine level, especially in areas where potatoes might have been exposed to light during transport or storage. Proper handling, storage, and preparation are key to significantly reducing these risks. Mistake number 2 is not realizing there could be mold and mycotoxins on your potato. Potatoes are prone to mold growth when they are not stored correctly. Mold thrives in environments that are moist and warm with poor air circulation. If potatoes are kept in damp areas or in plastic bags that trap moisture, mold is more likely to develop. Physical damage to potatoes, like cuts or bruises, also provides entry points for mold spores, increasing the risk of fungal growth. The ideal storage temperature for potatoes is between 45-50 degrees Fahrenheit to slow down mold proliferation, although overly warm conditions can accelerate this process. Over time, especially under suboptimal storage conditions, the likelihood of mold development increases. Different types of molds can affect potatoes, including species like Fusarium, Penicillium, Aspergillus, and Rhizopus. Each mold type might produce various mycotoxins, which are secondary metabolites with toxic properties. Among these, Aspergillus species might produce aflatoxins, though this is less common on potatoes than in other foods like nuts and grains. Aflatoxins mycotoxins are known to be potent carcinogens. Fusarium molds can generate fumonisins, which are harmful to the nervous system and have been linked to health issues, including cancer when ingested in high doses. Penicillium might produce patulin, which is toxic to the kidneys, gastrointestinal tract, and immune system, while both Aspergillus and Penicillium can produce ochratoxin A, noted for its nephrotoxic, immunotoxic, and potential carcinogenic effects. Eating moldy potatoes can lead to immediate health effects like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, and respiratory issues if mold spores are inhaled. Some people might also have allergic reactions to mold. Chronic exposure to mycotoxins can lead to more severe health problems, including liver damage, immune system suppression, and an increased risk of cancer. The impact depends on the type and amount of mycotoxin consumed, individual health, and the duration of exposure. To prevent these issues, proper storage practices are essential. Potatoes should be stored in a cool, dry, dark place with good air circulation, using materials like paper bags, baskets, or burlap sacks instead of plastic to control moisture levels. Mistake number 3 is eating potatoes with pesticide residue. Potatoes are frequently treated with various pesticides to protect them from pests and diseases during growth. While regulations exist to control the amount of pesticide residues that can remain on potatoes by the time they reach consumers, there are still health concerns associated with these residues, especially with repeated exposure over time. Pesticides can include fungicides, insecticides, and herbicides, each with different chemicals that might pose risks ranging from mild irritation to more severe health issues like endocrine disruption, neurological effects, or even carcinogenic potential in some cases. For individuals who consume potatoes regularly or in large quantities, the cumulative effect of these residues might be a concern. Vulnerable populations, including children, pregnant women, and those with compromised immune systems, might be at higher risk. While the levels of pesticides are regulated to be below what is considered immediately harmful, the long-term effects of low-level exposure are not fully understood, and there's ongoing research into how these chemicals might interact with human biology over extended periods. This has led to advocacy for more organic or pesticide-free growing methods, and for consumers to wash potatoes thoroughly or peel them before consumption as a way to reduce exposure to these chemical residues. Mistake number 4 is being unaware of bacterial contamination. Potatoes, while generally safe when handled and stored correctly, can occasionally become a breeding ground for harmful bacteria like Clostridium botulinum if conditions are not managed properly. Clostridium botulinum is an anaerobic, spore-forming bacterium known for producing botulinum toxin, one of the most potent neurotoxins known, which causes botulism, a rare but serious illness. The bacterium thrives in environments devoid of oxygen, which is why potatoes wrapped in foil or stored in sealed plastic bags can be problematic, especially if they are damaged or have deep cuts. The spores of C. botulinum can survive in a wide range of temperatures, but toxin production is most efficient between 38 and 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Moisture is another critical factor for bacterial growth. Potatoes that have been damaged or are decomposing can provide the necessary moisture. The bacteria prefer neutral to slightly acidic environments, and the pH of potatoes is generally suitable for their growth. Over time, the risk of botulinum toxin production increases if storage conditions are improper. Potatoes can become contaminated with C. botulinum spores because they grow in soil where these spores might naturally exist. If potatoes are not cleaned thoroughly, these spores can remain on their surface. Damage to the potato skin can introduce oxygen-free pockets where spores can germinate. Additionally, storing potatoes in airtight conditions, especially after they've been cooked or partially cooked like baked potatoes, can lead to botulinum toxin production. Cooking can kill off competing bacteria, leaving an environment more favorable for C. botulinum. Symptoms of botulism include weakness, dizziness, blurred or double vision, trouble speaking or swallowing, dry mouth, muscle weakness, and eventually paralysis. These symptoms can appear 12 to 36 hours after eating contaminated food, but can range from 6 hours to several days. Botulism is potentially fatal because the toxin blocks nerve functions, which can lead to respiratory and muscular failure if not treated promptly. If you are finding this information helpful, please like and subscribe. Mistake number 5 is being unaware that potatoes can spike in blood sugar levels through the roof. Potatoes, especially when cooked in certain ways like frying, can have a high glycemic index, leading to rapid spikes in blood sugar levels. This can be problematic for individuals with diabetes or those at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The glycemic index of potatoes can vary significantly depending on the cooking method. For instance, frying or baking increases the GI more than boiling or steaming steaming due to changes in the starch structure that make glucose more readily available. For diabetic individuals, managing blood sugar levels is crucial, and foods with a high glycemic index can make this management more challenging, potentially leading to issues with insulin response and increased risk of insulin resistance over time. Thus, people with diabetes or prediabetes are often advised to consume potatoes in moderation and to opt for cooking methods that lower the glycemic impact, like boiling or preparing them in salads. Number 6 is the potential for weight gain. Fried potatoes, like French fries or chips, are high in calories, fat, and sodium, which can contribute to obesity if consumed in large amounts. Even baked or boiled potatoes can lead to weight gain if eaten in excess due to their caloric content. Mistake number 7 is being unaware of acrylamide formation. When potatoes are cooked at high temperatures, such as through frying or roasting, acrylamide, a potentially harmful chemical, can form. This compound arises from the Maillard reaction between sugars and amino acids, which is responsible for the browning and flavor development in cooked foods. There's ongoing research exploring acrylamide's link to cancer, with some studies suggesting it might increase the risk of certain cancers, though conclusive evidence in humans is still debated. The International Agency for Research on Cancer has classified acrylamide as probably carcinogenic to humans, based largely on animal studies. However, more research is needed to fully understand the risks to human health, particularly at the levels people typically consume acrylamide. Mistake number 8, eating too many and getting a potassium overload. While potassium in potatoes is generally beneficial, supporting heart health and muscle function, for individuals with certain kidney conditions, too much potassium can be harmful. Those with kidney disease or on dialysis might have impaired kidney function, which can lead to hyperkalemia, a condition where potassium levels in the blood become too high, potentially causing heart rhythm disturbances or other serious health issues. Therefore, these individuals often need to monitor their potassium intake carefully and might be advised by healthcare providers to limit consumption of high potassium foods like potatoes. The last one is, for some people, the high starch content in potatoes can lead to digestive discomfort, especially if they have sensitivities or intolerances to certain types of carbohydrates. This can manifest as bloating, gas, or even more severe symptoms like abdominal pain for those with conditions like irritable bowel syndrome or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, where certain starches might not be fully digested in the small intestine, leading to fermentation by gut bacteria. To enjoy potatoes safely, focus on preparation methods. Choose healthier cooking techniques like baking, boiling, or steaming, instead of frying, to minimize the formation of harmful compounds and reduce calorie intake. Moderation is also key. Incorporate potatoes into a balanced diet, rather than making them the primary food source, to avoid excessive consumption of any single nutrient. Proper storage is crucial. Keep potatoes in a cool, dark place to prevent greening and sprouting, which reduces the risk of solanine poisoning. Regular inspection of stored potatoes for signs of spoilage such as mold, soft spots, or greening ensures that you catch any issues early. Finally, always wash potatoes thoroughly to reduce potential pesticide residues that might be on the skin. By being aware of these issues and taking appropriate measures, one can enjoy potatoes as part of a healthy diet while minimizing health risks. If you enjoyed this information, please like and subscribe. Were you aware of these potential risks when eating potatoes? Tell us in the comments below. Thanks for watching.